Chin over the wrist.
This is as far as I'm getting over.
That's fine. So right now it is, but ready? Stop for a second. Stay right where you're at. Spot a T. So only your pinky lifts up, and I want to see the back of your hand. Okay, now ready? You're going to rotate. You're going to try to bring your right arm towards me. So try to bring it towards me. Now, as you do that, good. Now you've just turned the head and you've slid it right back on. And if you need to create an angle and you want to get that arm deeper, guess what? Take your left leg out, shrimp, and now that's going to let you cut the angle to replace your hook back in and get it.
I felt that. As soon as I went out, when I was using pose, and turn out this way, should sink in. My bad. We're going to take a shot, Chuck.
All right, you're up. But that's why, why I'm taking this for you. So as you were doing that, so you're like, I got stuck. So remember what I said, use your head because your body's going to follow it. And if you lose it, then shrimp away, which is naturally going to cut the angle and let you do what you want it to do. And that peels go. Just remember, spot a T. Nice. Once you get that wrist control, what?
It is like, I can't get, I don't know, not like.
Well, it's going to be as simple for you.
Are you saying pull your elbow back?
What, to get it? No, I'm literally, when my hand's like this, when I lift it, I'm literally just that.
Yeah, I know, but like when you get it, when you're getting it back here, then are you pulling your elbow back to
Not
choke?
yet. Not yet. So, watch. Come here.
It's still running. Just come here. If you come to this side.
So, if I get here, right? So you go to play and I get here, right? So no matter what you do, go ahead, whatever you want to do. Once I get to this position, now whatever you're doing dictates where I'm going to go. I can slice, I can press down and slice and get the choke. I can do that. But notice what happened when I did that. You had a lot more space. So I compressed and I squeezed and I started to go. I can get it, but turn your head. It allows you a little wiggle room on the compression. If I've got your arm trapped, then I push this down. Now you try to turn your head. The angle is a lot smaller for me to have to move. Same along the lines as if I'm playing with your hands and you're peeling at this elbow and I can get to this wrist. If I'm able to trap both, that's great. Even if you go to grab with this now, go ahead, whatever you want to do. This is pulling across to create the rotation, but as soon as this is pulling, you can't move. And then again, I can slice it both across. Remember, I can't do both hard at the same time. So if I pull this across, this has to be soft, right? If I pull both hard, watch. This is going to be annoying, but just talk.
What's up, man?
It's not that bad. It's tight, but it's not bad, right? But ready? I'm going to not pull this one as tight and notice that the submission happened. Or this time, I'm going to start with both pulled hard, okay? Right? Now, I'm going to let off the pick on this one, and I get it. So that's the whole point of why I keep saying to you guys, like, too much, too little, just right, is that I have to go with whatever you're doing. Like, if you're resisting, resist me however you want. Go. Like, you resist me hard, then I just go softer. Because this arm is, only thing that this arm has to do is what? Just catch. Because as you try to muscle your way out of it, go. Like, whatever you want to do. Like this here, all I have to do is just keep it away. Because now I'm creating the leverage. And if my arm, to what Andrew was saying, is I get stuck here and I can't get my chin over, then remember, I lift, I try to bring it, and watch what happens. I turn my head, what happened? It let me bring that arm over more, so when I come back in, I'm right over that wrist. So you go to move, go ahead. There's...
Yeah, I'll probably be doing that a lot just because of my build.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, so, like, go ahead, try it. Go ahead, do it. I'll keep it running. You okay?
Yeah.
Remember, the non-choke arm, as soon as he goes, free pass, immediately go.
and just wiggle your way in. So let it shoot, turn your head a little bit. If you turn your head with it as you go to bring it, now just bring your chin right back over. Notice that you're able to get tighter in on it. Go ahead. Now just take what he gives you. So if that still feels a little loose, push his left arm down more. Now you can just slice away. Now if
You're saying pull back.
yeah,
Slice,
yeah,
right?
that's what I mean. Yes, pull back. So because your head over your wrist is essentially creating the compression of the rotation of his neck on his carotid artery. But that's what I'm saying. If you're pushing his arm down hard, then you're just slightly rotating his head because that's what's creating the separation. Now, if he's resisting hard on that arm, right, like he's trying to bully his left arm back in, get your chin over your wrist.
I'm letting it off for a second.
Okay, so if he goes to resist with his left arm hard, all you're doing with your left arm is just catch it. And now, as that catches, now slice with your slice hard. Good. That's the whole difference. So remember, you just have to go off of what their biomechanics is, and that's why like the head or the body goes where the head's going to go. And by you turning away quick with the spotted T thing, you'll pull it back in and you'll get there. Again, if they go non-choking hand, that should always be for you a pass. Like, say thank you, and you know you may get caught a little bit. Just C-clamp on the shoulder, just cup it down. Then as they go to peel away, look at the back of your hand. They can't beat you on a cross face with the back of the arm. You're physically seeing what's happening all the time. If you try to just go without seeing it, you're seeing where it gets stuck. Just always go there. And then from there, you can decide where you want to go. You want to go body triangle, that's great. Use that for a control standpoint. But then as you're trying to feed that deeper, like Andrew did on the one, if you get stuck, keep the hip line control, and that's why we use that grapevine hook and everything. Scoot your butt out, and then that instantly creates you the leverage that you need.
How do you get out of that?
What?
The grapevine.
What do you mean?
Like, once I have this, right?
Uh-huh. How's he get out of it?
Yeah.
Answer your own question.
Can't.
That's, if you've got really good control on that entanglement, it shouldn't happen. You should, at that point, you should be finishing the control.
Is this correct? I can't get this leg over. But
Yes, you can. So guess what you're gonna have to do more? Scoot your butt out even more. Even more. Good. Now, right from there, yes, keep going, keep going. You're gonna get to an awkward angle. That's fine. Good. You're right there. That's you're good. You're good. Now just bring it right back over. You're there. Finish. That's what I'm saying. Like for you, and this becomes a mobility and a flexibility thing for people. Like that's why.
I'm not flexible.
Well, but that's why I'm saying. Like
The way he gets it becomes like a twister almost.
right, but that's my point. Is that if you try to go body triangle, you're so focused on this compression or your body mechanics with that, is that it's great from a control standpoint if you're just keeping the setup. And especially as you're doing your hand fighting and everything else. Because remember, now we've got a body triangle, we've got arm fighting and everything else, and what's the possibility that you squeeze both way too much and it gives the guy escape? Remember, the body triangle escape, he can either kick the leg away, he can fight for the ankle lock, or he can just spin right back into you if he's able to go because you know, you're not playing with the arm control. But in that case, that's where, like, even go back one more time to that. Just keep your, you know, your choke control or even seatbelt control. All I want you to do, keep a good seatbelt control, and you haven't fully gotten your hip line yet, right? So here's what's going to happen. Andrew's going to try to move a little bit. Try to move, Andrew. All I want you to keep doing is keep shrimping out. Just keep shrimping out. As you keep shrimping out, keep trying to just wiggle that out more. Andrew's going to keep trying to move. Just keep shrimping. It doesn't matter what he does. He can do whatever. All I care about, you have your seatbelt control. Just keep shrimping out until you get to a good hip line, until you feel good.
I felt good.
Good. And then you can finish the choke right there.
Yeah, as soon as you turn it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm worried about shrimping though,
Why?
because I'm losing control.
No, you're not. You're
I'm
thinking.
losing the leg.
And what if that leg wasn't helping you in the first place? Watch. I'll prove my point. Put him back in it. Keep your leg in.
Like right now, I got it, right?
Just watch, just for right now.
What do you want me to do?
Well, no, I'm saying you said your argument was that leg right now, you have that leg which is giving you control, right?
It's pretty good control.
Okay, Andrew, start to move. You can wiggle more. You know you can. You can go ahead and keep going. Andrew, how bad's the control? It got looser? The seatbelt's good, but your mobility to move your lower body's giving you some wiggle room, right? Yeah. Right. Keep going. Because now, keep going. Notice what you just had to do. You had to switch it.
Yeah.
And now you've got the hip line control, and you're on the weak side of the choke. So let's see what you got from here. Go ahead, Andrew. But ready? Just turn. Try to move.
Turn.
Just move. I mean, you can feel like you can move a little bit more.
Right now, I feel kind of trapped on the corner, but
Okay.
there's definitely no choke right now.
Okay. So guess what you gave up though? So you have that hip line, but you gave up seatbelt control. So now guess what? Now work a little bit. So Andrew's still going to try to move because you told me it was more important to keep that leg in because that was giving you control. And if Andrew, you can get
Leg
out
in?
from.
What leg?
You said you need your thing. Remember what I told you? You said about you didn't feel comfortable shrimping out because you felt like you lost control,
Yeah.
where you're giving up control, and you
I'm
just
not
saw.
saying you're wrong. That's how I feel.
I know that's how you feel, and this is why I'm filming this for you, so when you watch it, you can go back and say to yourself, you actually were in more control using less entanglements. So keep going, because I want you to see this thing through now. You're doing this in a controlled manner for a reason. Keep going. Andrew, if you feel you can move and wiggle, go ahead and wiggle. He's free now. Andrew, all you gotta do is just turn your hips over and put your head on the mat. Keep putting your head on the mat. Put your head on the mat. Keep turning your hips over.
I have to shrimp.
So now that you finally said what I want you to say, go ahead and shrimp. Wait, did you give up a leg entanglement so you could shrimp? Now go ahead.
Yeah. George? You're correct.
Go ahead and say
I
it.
wasn't saying you were incorrect.
No.
I'm just saying I felt uncomfortable.
Come on, say those words. Say it again.
You
You're right.
were right. I never said you were wrong.
I know.
This-
I know. But
I'll tell this it's a Dante moment.
no, well, it's not meant to.
no, I would tell Dante he was wrong. Like I'm like, yo, this doesn't work. George, I didn't say it didn't work. I just said I didn't feel comfortable. Because I felt like I was gonna give up something.
Right. And
But
this
you kind of have to give up something to gain something better.
yes. So what do you see me when and to illustrate your point completely? So the whole joking around about tranquilo, right? So when I'm in top side control on you, how many grips am I making? Or how many control points? I'm making the ones that are appropriate for me based off of what you're doing. If I overcommit my control, right? Or if I'm really, overzealous on it, on the control and pressure, that's giving you room to move. And that's why, again, I get submissions, but that's why I don't say submissions with you guys. I say control and pressure, rear naked control or whatever. And again, once we have the philosophy built in, we'll go to it, because when you hunt the submission, you lose control and lose some of that pressure. And/or in one way you lose pressure on that guy, but the more pressure is now on you because you were in such a good spot before that you've now, I got to go back and do something. Like the stock market. Hey, stock's starting to go down. I need to sell now. No, if it's something, like you said, you're giving up a little bit, what do you have to do? That's when you go, I'm going to invest more. Good. All right, the market's going down. I'm going to end up buying up and having a higher or a better average price because it's gone down. Now I own more stock in it. You pull the hook out, you scoot your butt away. Well, what did that do? You gave up one entanglement or that hook to be able to create better leverage on your rear naked choke control, which meant that you were then able to get a better angle for you to control the hip line without you, at that point when that's now stabilized, you're now more efficient. And that becomes one of those things, is especially as I'm having you guys roll and do stuff, why am I doing this without hooks first? Because we're almost trying, I think with a lot of these different techniques, we try to do too much right off the bat. So if I just give you, all right, work for seatbelt, work with this. And because that way you always know, during I moved this hook away, right? You move the hook away and they stop defending the choke, you've so ingrained it in your head to go across their face with the cross face that you're already there. Well, I lost the hook. Yeah, but you gained the choke control and more deeper control. Well, I've completely given up the other hook. Okay, but they, fleece themselves. So is that necessarily a bad thing? Some will argue, yes, you need to have all these hooks and you need this. My argument will be, what's getting you the better control and the better pressure? And especially for you guys from a fighting standpoint, there may be a time where you need to take the hook out. Like that's what I said, the body triangle, you scoot that away and you control their hip line. Now that's giving you a better, leverage angle to be able to, hit away and also let you be more dominant. That's
can
it.
Push and pull too.
Right. I'm not saying, it's right tool for the right job at the right time. There's going to be a time where you should have those entanglements. Absolutely 100%. But in that case right now, that's why I said I wanted you to see this through, because you could still get the control and the pressure enough to get a finish. Not whatsoever. I'm not doubting that you couldn't do it, because you can. But now, like, remember, since we gave that up and now we had a really good spot, now we gave that up, now we got to work to get back there. And that's also without the variables of, are there strikes? Is there more adrenaline going? We're playing through this right now because I'm having you do this now at that super slow speed, because when you start adding speed and you start adding muscle, we now start compensating in technique and being efficient. And especially once we start adding people muscle on muscle, that's where you get the repelling forces of it. And that's why you actually have to do the opposite. So that's why in that case, take the hook out. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? Seriously, here's the best part. And here's
a crank.
What?
To get that neck crank.
Okay, so, but you take that, is it still better control for you?
Yeah.
The only way you're gonna know is when you're with the person that you're going with. If you, like, let's say you were doing that again with Andrew, so go back to that just for 1 second. Whether this is a live roll or not a live roll, I'm just,
Go back to
the back control where you were saying, like, I need to have that hook in, right? So right where you were before, okay? So now, start with the hook in, okay? So here's all I want you to do. Andrew, turn your head a little bit, move around, just that way you get an idea of how much space he's got right now, right? Okay? Now, take the hook out, start playing the shrimp stuff, and start to go where you think could create it a little bit better. Without the hook in, without the hook in. Now, keep the hook out. Literally, just keep the hook out, okay? Now, Andrew, try to move. Now, as he goes to move, make the adjustment that you need to make. Yeah, as he goes to move a little bit more. Because remember, we just gave up the hook and we shrimped out, which means, oh, well, now his body is kind of moved a little bit, which is fine. So guess what? Shrimp out even more. Keep shrimping.
Keep going. Good. Now that we did that, now Andrew goes to move. Andrew, how's that?
Yeah, what sucks is that leg will automatically put me back into square one.
Right. Now, from there, let's go back to the key thing. Keep your feet right where they were. Remember the one thing that we went over Tuesday. Now, all I want you to do, because the arm control, you're not squeezing the upper body hard, right?
I'm not squeezing at all.
Great. Now, all I want you to do with your heels is leg curl back towards him, or back towards your butt. Now, Andrew tries to move while you're doing the leg curl. You feel that you're locked down even more? Now, if you're smart with that, if you can get that back over the hip line, so you lost the hip line, so guess what you're gonna do? Shrimp out again. Go. Just shrimp. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Now, heels, just literally, because you have the control right there, just drive your heels into them, like leg curl back towards the door. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Good.
Now, as you do that, just walk the hand even more. Good. How much were you squeezing the upper body?
Very little.
Put that choke control back in. All I want you to do is start to squeeze the legs like you were just doing. Andrew, where I'm not looking for submission, but just try to move a little bit. You see how he's locked down more?
It's
Good.
gonna get tighter
Right.
as I move.
That's, so my point with that, dude, is that as we first started to get that in, you ended up giving a little space. Just because you gave him space down here, you still had the seatbelt and the choke control up top. He's still got to clear his head and his neck. Remember, his body's going to go where his head's going. But you have that locked down. So as soon as you went back and you just did what you just did, and you scooted out more, then you got to a good spot. But then he started to move a little bit. So what did I have you do? Go back again. And you eventually got to the point that with that upper body, you're so over him this way and angle-wise broke him down that you then use that hip line control without the body triangle to be able to get it. It's not to say you can't do it with the body triangle or some other entanglement with your hook, but that just worked for you to get you to a point that you didn't have to, muscle to be able to go. In some points when, again, live roll, you're gonna have to scramble to start to move this stuff. Think of it like quicksand. All right, you start to get somebody in this spot. Give up the hook, see what their reaction is. And by that, not fully give up the hook, but like start to take it off. Do you feel like you're giving up too much wiggle room? If you feel that you're giving up too much wiggle room, then what do? Just slide it back in. And I know it sounds like kind of silly, but it allows you, just like what you guys would do in a fight. You're gonna feint, you're gonna throw jabs, you're gonna do some shadow kind of stuff. Why? Because it's gonna allow you to see what's their initial reaction, what are they gonna do, and that way that allows you to know. Like if you pull think about it this way, you pull the leg away and they start to move and they stop protecting their neck, you go right to the choke. All right, you gave up the hook, but you got the choke. And then you just, now you work out of that control from there. Because remember, if they don't respect the neck, then you're just able to start to drive that even more, like what I did before. Switch the hips over, compress down on the neck. All right, well, I don't have my hooks in. I'm completely north-south to you, but you're belly up. But then I walk myself back in, and I'm able to get to the control. But I'm not doing it in any way, shape, or form that's giving up, like, at any point that I feel that I was out of control. So that's where, as you guys are practicing this, and because you get there often, get to the person's back, and just like what you did with side control, stealing from Fight Club, you just learn to let go. Just let go a little bit. And then, because now, as you feel better with that lack of entanglement, then you just kind of go and say, all right, I know I can work myself into deeper stuff, but I also know that I'm pretty good there. That's why, like that top half guard stuff and everything else. All right, well, if I can get the guillotine control, let them go. They're going to choke themselves. Make sense?
Yeah.
Can you come here closer? No, don't. Go ahead. What did you say before? I just like hearing it.
Never said you were wrong, but what you said works.
Okay. And that being said, you get a consolation prize. You get to get choked by her. Come on down. Because I gotta get one more rep for her. That way you guys get your video, so you have as a reference to go back. Because I just. What?
You're so bad.
Because I don't when I've made this stuff for you guys, I just give it to you and share. I'm not posting it up. I'm not doing anything with that. I'm making it so you have reference to go back and watch.
Oh, that makes sense though.
Yeah. I actually now I'm seeing more of the benefit just shrimping out. I think it's, if anything, it's more for the offensive factor. I like it's just tighter.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm short limbed, so it works better for me to get my ankle. But I'll definitely be working the hand more.
Good job.